So I know you guys read the title. I know you guys saw the thumbnail. Before we get into this, let me sprinkle a little bit of optimism into this. First and foremost, thank you NXT for giving us the Great American Bash. That show was fantastic. For one, that match between Melo and Dragunov, oh my God. I watched it 4 times already. It got better every single time. I can't wait for the 5th time. Really good match. But that's not what we're talking about right now, right? We talking about the Gable Stevenson versus Baron Corbin match. Now, I want to give NXT their props because on paper, this sounded like a great idea, okay? A great idea. And the reason why, because Baron Corbin is typically, relatively a safe wrestler. He keeps people safe in the ring. He barely ever injures anyone. He pretty much keeps himself safe. He hardly is ever injured. But at the same time, he's in one of those rare spaces where it's a heel, where they can take the butt of jokes and take L's from anyone else. And it doesn't really diminish them as much. But at the same time, he can get pushed into the mid card and it will make all the sense in the world, in my personal opinion, okay? So this will be a great platform for Gable. And also, when it comes to Baron Corbin matches, typically people cheer whoever he's facing because they're not Baron Corbin. People love to boo Baron Corbin. So this is a great situation for someone who is new. Now, speaking of booing, it didn't work out the way I thought it was going to work out on paper, okay? When this match started, people in the crowd turned into ghosts. They start booing Gable Stevenson. Why? I do not know. I don't have a reason why people should love him, but I didn't think people were going to boo him, and people were cheering for Baron Corbin. Where did that come from? Where did that come from? I'm shocked because I've been a long-time fan of Baron Corbin to the point where like 5, 6, 7 years ago, in group chats, my nickname was the Lone Wolf based off of Baron Corbin. Why did I like him that much? I don't know. He's not the greatest wrestler in the world. I love his aesthetic, and the Deep Six is one of my favorite moves in wrestling right now. So, hey, it is what it is. Sue me. But at the end of the day, when I watched this match, the first thing I thought about is that I felt like Gable Stevenson was not ready. Now, I could assume that maybe he did great in the Performance Center. Then once he got out there, he got cold feet. He didn't know where he was anymore. He was shocked. He looked at Baron Corbin, didn't realize how tall he was. And maybe that's what happened. I don't know. But for me, I'm more inclined to believe that the Performance Center, and this is why I say NXT, this is their fault for this. I'm more inclined to believe that the Performance Center didn't prepare him properly for this match. For one, if you watch the match, his punches didn't look great. You know what I'm saying? His punches didn't look great at all. There's no way they taught him to punch like that. There's no way they taught him the right way. He just came out of nowhere, was just throwing punches. Like, it just didn't make any sense. But also, if you watch the match as well, they gave him limited moves in the ring, right? And I'm not saying limited as in how many moves he does. I mean how many times he can do them. He did them for, like, here and there, and it felt like they wanted Baron Corbin to carry the match because it felt like that they didn't really trust Gable Stevenson to do as much as he should in the ring. The other thing is, I felt like by pushing this whole Kurt Angle thing on him, them referring back to Kurt Angle all the time in these packages and things like that, and I get it because Gable Stevenson is the second U.S. Olympian gold medalist being signed to WWE since Kurt Angle. I get the correlation. I know they had their moment with the milk truck when Kurt Angle had his birthday. I get all of that, but by doing that, you are ruining the man's career. You are ruining the man's career. And also, this tells me that you don't understand why people loved Kurt Angle. You don't understand why people loved him. People didn't love Kurt Angle because he was a gold medalist. And I know they were doing that not just because they kept bringing up Kurt Angle's name, but Gable Stevenson, when he got in the ring, he did a little twirl with his hands up. He did the Kurt Angle thing, but also we saw him do the ankle lock, obviously, and then so many other things. I know that the ankle lock people have, there's other people who have that move. I get that. But you can see them trying to push the Kurt Angle gimmick on him. And that's not good. That's not good. As I said, if you think it's going to work with him, you don't understand why people like Kurt Angle. People didn't like Kurt Angle. People didn't love Kurt Angle because he was a gold medalist. That verified him. But beyond that, the reason why people loved him is for his quirky personality, because of his charisma, because of how kind of, I guess, corny he was. He was just corny, but it was so entertaining. I remember he posted something on Instagram and said that he's the Carlton from Fresh Prince of WWE. That's exactly what he was. That was the charm of Kurt Angle. People love to pick on him. That is why people cheer and say, you suck when Kurt Angle come out. Even if they really don't mean it, they do it because they like to pick on him. They think it's fun, even though people respect him, even though people know he's a legend, even though people know he's great in the ring, okay? So, and even in the segments, his most memorable segments outside of him with the milk truck against the Alliance was a great segment for me, even when I was younger. People love the segments when he get picked on. But you got Gable Stevenson coming out here trying to use that gimmick and capitalize off of that, and that's not even the reason why people like Kurt Angle. and you come on the ring, you do that, you guys are setting this guy up for failure. You're setting this guy up for failure, and the closest thing we have to Kurt Angle is another guy with the name Gable in his name, Chad Gable. Why are we doing this? I think it's time for Gable Stevenson to either go back to the Performance Center, learn the ropes. This match should not have happened on a pay-per-view, in my personal opinion. This should have been a TV match leading up to another match, leading up to a pay-per-view, and maybe they should have got more reps in live shows. I don't know if they did, but it don't really look like it in my personal opinion. It just don't, okay? And I think by doing all of this, by allowing him to come out like the way he was, all this Kurt Angle stuff, it's a disservice to this guy as far as his career in WWE. And if you're gonna do that, you're gonna ruin this guy. You're gonna ruin him. You can't force him to be over by using old gimmicks. It's not gonna work for everybody. It worked for what? For Becky Lynch. It's not gonna work for everybody else. It's just not. But I don't know. I think that WWE NXT is kind of ruining this guy's career at this point. I know it's only one match, but if they continue on doing what they're doing, it will be. They need to repackage this guy or let him go. That's the only two choices they have at this point. Because people are going to be resistant against him unless they turn him heel. It doesn't always work for everybody. Look at Hit Row. They turn heel. Nobody cares. But unless he turns heel, like, the only way that it can work is if he turn heel and start disrespecting Kurt Angle, then people are going to expect a match out of him and Kurt Angle. And the way Kurt Angle is physically, I don't think I really want to see him in the ring. Like, I don't think that would be safe for him, but that's just my personal opinion. But again, hopefully whatever Chad Gable or Gable Stevenson does at the end of the day, hopefully hopefully he gets them all the success that he needs at the end of the day. I don't know what else to say. But anyways, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. Salute, peace, have a good day.